Hi, everybody. This is Richard, and I've been in the shipping industry for years now, and I am one of the shipping specialists here at Shippo. Today, I'd like to discuss how you can boost sales for the holiday by preparing your storefront, fulfillment, and shipping. Today, we'll be going through how you can optimize your product page to drive sales, how you can utilize free shipping to lower cart abandonment, prepare your warehouse operations, how to meet delivery deadlines by diversifying your carrier portfolio, and how to get ahead for January returns. Again, if you have any questions, please type them into the webinar here, and I'll address them at the end of the webinar. Now let's get started. Now, optimizing your product pages. So, Amazon has set the standard for what shippers and shoppers come to expect every time they buy online. Full and total transparency, from comprehensive product info to customer reviews to fulfillment expectations, all available on one screen. And here's a typical e-commerce product page. Typical e-commerce product page should provide the necessary information about product items, such as photos, description, pricing, and if you're a more advanced merchant, you may want to expose recommended items or customer reviews. This is all great information to help customers understand what they're purchasing. And also what we're seeing in this industry and what Amazon has set as a new standard is to display something that's typically hidden in the checkout process. Now, what I'd like to discuss are a couple of things that you can expose or that they expose to make things more useful. One is expected arrival date. Two is the exact shipping costs. Now, us here at Shippo, we've done a survey, and our customers found that about 33% of the merchants include the expected delivery date, and only 64 show the item's shipping costs right on the product page. Doing these things could be very useful for the buyers. And not only does Amazon show the expected delivery date, but they also show how soon you need to make the purchase in order to receive it by the posted delivery date. What that does is that drives a sense of urgency, pushing buyers to purchase immediately. So those are some things that you consider. If you implement this on your product page, you could possibly drive more customers to make the decision and make it fast. I'd like to talk about free shipping and how to drive sales. According to UPS study on shippers, they found that 81% of shoppers cite free shipping as the most important thing that they care about when going through the checkout process. But you also have to consider that free to the customer doesn't mean that it's free to the merchant just like you. We'll go through a few examples of how you can use free shipping to incentivize actions. Free shipping with a minimum purchase. In that same study, UPS found that free shipping is so important that 93% of those surveyed take actions to qualify for free shipping. And of those 93%, UPS found that 58% of them add items to the cart, specifically to qualify for free shipping. Now, you can capitalize on this by also offering free shipping, but putting a minimum purchase value and stating something like, maybe offer a threshold such as $50 for if you purchase $50 worth of goods, then you may get free shipping. Something you can do to determine your threshold is by calculating your average order value and setting the free shipping minimum slightly above it. So that average order value is just how much the cost of the goods are in the, basically for the order itself. What you want to do is not necessarily set that threshold too high. For example, if your average order value is $20 and you set your free shipping minimum at $200, that means you have to add 10 items to the cart to be able to have your customer qualify for free shipping. So you may want to just set it at 30 instead and boost order size and revenue. Instead of purchasing one item, they may purchase 2 items. And you could also offer free shipping, and they may repurchase from you again and again. Also, free shipping as a promotion. No one says that you have to offer free shipping all the time. It is a very powerful tool. So you may want to just use it at certain times, such as holidays, or maybe around other special occasions where you want to do some sort of promotion. So this is a great way to boost sales. What this does, it drives urgency and acts as a great incentive for customers to buy now. Now, don't forget that you also need to offer premium services for free shipping. You don't necessarily need to offer next day or expedited shipping when you're offering it for free. You may want to just offer ground shipping or something that is a little bit more deferred and may get there in 5 days instead of 2. Now, according to UPS, in that same study, they found that 50% of shoppers will choose a slower transit time to qualify for free shipping. 83% of those are willing to wait an additional 2 or more days to get free shipping. So keep that in mind. It will also help you save on shipping costs. You may also boost purchasing. So those two things in conjunction are very powerful tools that you can use for a promotion. Next, I'd like to discuss about preparing your warehouse operations. It's very important for you to get your warehouse operations ready for the holiday rush. There are a few items that you're going to want to check off your list and make sure that you're very ready. So one question is, do you have enough packaging supplies to get you through the holidays without interruption? This includes boxes of different sizes, tape, packaging content such as popcorn or maybe poly bags for packaging. You also want to consider stocking up on different box sizes, as you don't want to be paying for empty air. What that means is really optimizing the box for the shipment. I'm sure some of you have maybe received packages when you've bought something online and you notice that most of it is air or there's nothing in there. So optimizing on packaging could help you save money and also avoid certain charges. And if any of you out there are familiar with the dimensional weight that some of the carriers charge for larger sizes, the price could actually be based off of how large the package is instead of just the weight and the destination. So dimensional weight is something that you can help to optimize for by using different packaging supplies. Also, you should consider your order fulfillment speed. According to our survey, the SHPA survey of online shoppers, we found that 67% of consumers expect the orders to leave the warehouse within 24 hours. We know that may not always be possible, but if you can ship out products faster, your customers will be much more satisfied. And you should also make sure that your warehouse can handle the peak order volume and get the packages out in time. Making sure that you don't get backed up and running into delays, especially as you run into the holiday shipping deadlines. And we're going to talk a little bit more about holiday shipping deadlines in a further slide. Another question is, what are your most ordered items? If you're not doing so, you can get the list of your projected or forecasted top selling products from your marketing teams or your merchandising teams to be able to find out what is going to be selling much, much faster. So for you to optimize for that, you may want to set up a top sellers location near the label printing station for quick turnarounds for those favorite items. That means they'll get ahead of the queue and get out the door much, much faster. And diversifying your carrier portfolio. Some of you may already be doing this today, but if you're only relying on one single carrier right now, you may want to consider adding a few different ones just for variety. What it does, it helps you optimize costs and provide some more options before the holiday rush. Now, comparing costs and delivery estimates across carriers. You should consider using several carriers to diversify costs and service offerings. For instance, earlier in the holiday season, you may want to use a shipping consolidator, such as DHL eCommerce, which ships domestically and internationally for the US, or if you're shipping internationally primarily, you can use someone like Asendia or RR Donnelley for packages that may qualify for free shipping. And while those services may take a little bit longer, it definitely is more cost-effective rather than paying for an expedited service. And while you have time, say after Thanksgiving, you may want to consider using them as opposed to using your traditional carriers to save a little bit of money, and you can also reinvest that money into your inventory or stock or marketing initiatives. Now, as the holiday season really approaches the end of the year, you may want to offer customers an option to pay for a guaranteed delivery. And how I was talking about maybe not using expedited services closer to, say, Thanksgiving, you may want to use express services as you get closer to the drop dead dates of the major carriers, such as FedEx or UPS, but use their expedited services. And possibly, if you know that your customers are either paying for a premium or willing to pay for a premium, you may want to offer some sort of guaranteed delivery right before the holiday, and maybe even clearly display the cutoffs and drop dead dates of the carriers. And you can also find that on the carrier websites as well. Now, if you all aren't aware, there are some carriers that provide or actually charge holiday surcharges. That's another reason why you may want to diversify your carrier portfolio before the holiday season. To avoid these, maybe pick a few carriers, as I was mentioning. If you're not aware, UPS has offered or has added an additional surcharge for packages sent to residential addresses between November 19th and December 2nd. In addition, they've changed or added another surcharge for another band of dates, and that's in between December 17th and December 23rd. Obviously, those are the times where there's a lot of peak shipping. So that's where you may want to consider something like another carrier. FedEx, for example, announced that it will not apply the residential holiday season surcharge. So you may want to consider that as an option, or you can stick with UPS, but just understand that you're going to be paying for a surcharge. Now, all of you Shippo users out there may already see that your Shippo account comes with pre-activated carriers. And there are a couple that you can definitely benefit from. One is USPS for the US outbound and domestic packages. The other one is DHL Express for all US outbound to international locations. So take those into consideration. If you already have your FedEx and UPS account attached, you can still obviously just click on the USPS and other tab to be able to take a look at these other rates. Managing returns. Managing returns can help you offer basically an added value feature. And the last piece of the holiday presentation is what I'll leave you with. And according to some research by National Retail Federation, 30% of all purchases online are returned, compared to 8% of brick and mortar stores. Now, they may not reflect your business, but I'm assuming that you may also have some people that are returning shipping items. While returns are part of running an online business, you can still minimize the costs and the impact that it has on you and your business. One thing that you may want to consider is clearly displaying a returns policy. So this clear and concise return policy, a good place you want to start outlining is what your customers can expect. Are you offering an exchange for goods only? Are you offering store credit? Are you offering full cash back or full refund? Who pays for the shipping returns? Is it you? Is it them? And how soon do they need to send it back? Also, every e-commerce store has its own preference, so you may take a look at other companies' return policies. Don't feel pressured to use the same exact one. Use what's best for your business. And you may also notice that many companies or many businesses are going to see different customers go to their website for the first time. So as you see this, you may want to be much more clear in some of these things, such as a policy, and clear in the communications, because they may have never went to your website before. And another thing that we offer, and you may be able to benefit from, are scan-based return labels. What that means is you can print out labels from our system and not have to pay until the actual label is scanned. So there are a few different things that can help you out with returns. And lastly, for returns here, that if you're selling internationally, you may also want to separate your policy of domestic from international, because the rules are going to be a lot more different. While it may not be as customer friendly as a normal policy, you may want to consider limiting which items can be returned and who pays for the shipping. Typically, international shipping is costly, so consider that when you do some sort of limitation for international returns. Basically, the key here is to be very clear and state all the policies up front. And some lessons that you can learn. So returns can be helpful for your business. Although it is a cost to your business, you have to process these returns. There are reasons why buyers return products. What you want to do is consider implementing a lightweight return merchandise authorization process, where customers may need to fill in some sort of quick survey before getting a return label. What that does, that provides additional information so you understand the rationale or why the product wasn't good enough, or why they're returning goods. You may also want to take a look and see if there are any patterns in any of the products that are being returned. Is it a specific item? Is it a specific listing? Is it a certain page? You may find out that the quality of a certain item that you got from your stock may not be the same quality that is posted either in a photo, or the description is not as accurate as what the customer stated. Now, they may state that if you have a survey. However, you may not know if there's a sort of trend unless you really dig into the information that the customer is providing back to you. And lastly, you may also want to look at the customer types that are doing the most returns. Now, a few of you may, or a lot of you may also be doing some sort of promotion. Now, is it because of the promotion that you set up, and is it coming through the same channel? Are all these return customers or customers who are doing a lot of returns coming from the same source? They may not be the right audience for your business. So you may want to consider, if you're going to target another audience, maybe change the demographic, change target, maybe change the items that you're doing a promotion for. Okay, and I just want to leave you with some resources for support. And I hope that provided you with some good places to start for exploring this holiday season. The more prepared you are, the easier the next few months will become. Also, it may help you drive more sales. So don't hesitate to reach out to our team if you have questions about shipping this holiday or how Shippo can help you. Our information is support@goshippo.com, and here are the hours where we'll give you a response. And now I'd like to open up the floor to more questions. And if you have any more as you think of them as I answer them, please enter them into the Q&A button from your webinar app. Okay, now I'll go into some of the questions that you've had. So, number one is not really sure about when I should purchase insurance, and can you recommend anything around that? So what I'd recommend is, do you have any high value shipments? Are these going to be international shipments where you want to make sure that it gets to the end destination? If you didn't know either, You can also be covered by some carrier insurance for shipments under $100. USPS does that through our system for Priority Mail Express. FedEx and UPS also have some built in if you declare the value as $100. And if you're shipping more than that $100, you may also want to consider using shipping insurance through us. We do provide that at 1% of the declared value. And you may find that in some cases, it may provide you savings over the direct carrier insurance as well. So make sure you take a look at all your options and consider possibly adding them for high value shipments. Okay, I have a question out there about functionality for in-store pickup. Right now, we don't have any in-store pickup within the application. However, you can order your own pickup from the carriers directly. You can either go to their site. If you're working with some of their sales reps directly, you can also do some scheduling of a pickup. And plenty of these carriers offer free pickup if you ship over a certain amount of packages or if a certain dollar value is reached, and that is on a case-by-case basis with specific carriers. So feel free to reach back out to your reps or reach out to the carriers and find out a little bit more information, or you could also find out some of that information on the carrier site for pickups. Another question we have out there is sending items from Canada to the US. If you are Canadian origin, we do offer a few different carrier options such as Canada Post, Purolator, FedEx, UPS. With those, you can add your own carrier accounts. Feel free to plug them in onto the carrier page. And we can also automatically generate the necessarily international customs forms that are required if you're shipping anything across the border. What we'll do is we'll pull the rates directly from your account, and that's what you'll be charged for that. So feel free. Canada to the US is available. Also, just general about, we had a question about international shipping, about first time doing that, and what are some of the best practices that you can do. As I mentioned, about other things about setting policies and clear expectations for returns, you also may want to do that from an international perspective, especially if you're shipping cross-border, because customs can get busy, especially during the holiday season. And if you're a US customer of ours, US origin, you do have some built-in DHL Express rates that you can benefit from. They also help clear customs a little bit quicker and make sure that it clears the borders faster. As I mentioned before, there are a few other carriers that we do have available from a consolidation standpoint, like Asendia, RR Donnelley, DHL eCommerce, that can also help, and it gets across borders a little bit quicker at a lower price. And on Shippo, we can help you create these customs forms, commercial invoices, just like we can for Canada to the US. I have a question about just other carriers that it comes with. So Shippo, as I mentioned, we do have a couple of carriers that we do have out of the box, and what discounts are available through there. So USPS, we do have that out of the box for US going to domestic locations as well as international destinations. We offer a mixture of commercial base and commercial plus pricing. So there are possibilities to save, or it's much, much better than going to the retail counter or the USPS post office and waiting in line and paying a higher price. And as I mentioned, DHL Express, we have some discounts on there. And if you want to plug in your own rates, you can get your own discounts. In some other countries, if we have any international folks out there, if you're in Germany, you may get Deutsche Post, and there are a few other carriers that we are continuing to offer too. So just keep posted as you see that in your tab when you're comparing rates. Now, we have a question about UPS fuel surcharges and how that's handled. Since you'll be plugging in your UPS rates directly into our system, the UPS surcharge, we are going to display some surcharges. If there are surcharges that are after the fact, you're obviously going to be charged on your invoice. And you're going to be charged by whatever payment method you've added. And for those customers out there, you're most likely using credit card, which is very common. And you can also use ACH or PayPal if you'd like to add those payment methods on your account. But that's, but the UPS charge itself is going to be whatever is attached to your account on the UPS side. Also, the cost of ShipO's insurance. We offer that through ShipSurance, and the insurance cost is 1% with a $1 minimum. So for example, if your declared cost of the item is $200, it's just going to be a couple dollars to cover that. Also, you can purchase insurance in step 1 of your label creation process. You'll see a field over there that will allow you to enter the value. So enter the dollar amount for how much you know the item costs or approximation of. We have a question about, is it possible to determine import taxes so the customer can know how much it's going to cost when you ship internationally? Unfortunately, import taxes do vary significantly, and it is hard to determine. So we do have, obviously, if you're taking a look at the options for the costs, we do have the DDU and DDP. But that is kind of just a general estimation of, and that's not fully landed because the taxes or charges may vary, and they're going to differ for when you get your invoice or bill from the carrier. But we'll typically, if you do, we'll just display the cost of shipping. The fully landed costs are going to, if you're doing DDP, you're going to get charged for that after the fact. And some people may be asking what is DDU and DDP? Destination duties unpaid, and then for the DDP, that is for paid. DDU means that, say, the cost of the shipping, say it's $20 to ship from here to UK. That is what is going to be displayed. That's what you as a merchant is going to be charged. Now, if VAT, duties and taxes in UK for the recipient is going to be $10 for that shipment, that means the recipient pays. So DDU is where the recipient pays for the additional charges that are duties and taxes. Now, for DDP, even though the rate that is displayed still may be $20, that $10, instead of it being paid by the recipient, DDP means when you get your invoice from the carrier, they're going to adjust your invoice and show that there was a $10 charge. So you're going to pay that after the fact, and that's what DDP is. I think that is all the questions we had. Very good questions, and thank you all for tuning in. Like I mentioned, if you do have any further questions, feel free to reach out, support@goshipper.com. And one thing, just as housekeeping and a last note, is this webinar, we're going to be sharing this playback in a few days, so keep an eye out on it. Feel free to go back through it. If you want to get some of that information, if you didn't take notes or you missed something, feel free to go back or reach out to support@goshipper.com. And thank you so much. Have a great day.